don't know the hour or the day. Time is such a gift, try and control your destiny. We don't know the hour or the day. Unity is strength, let's stand as one without delay. Cause no bad vibe me a chant. Me no want no bad vibe me a chant. I just peace the times all around, yeah. No bad vibe me a chant. No bad vibe me a chant. Say me no want no bad vibe me a chant. I just peace the time all around, yeah. No bad vibe me a chant.
Welcome, family. How you guys doing today? Welcome to another episode of Death Taught Us How to Live. I'm your host, AVM Superhero. And today we have a little bit of change of the monotony of just talking to stroke survivors. I got a special one for you guys today. It's kind of special because it's near and dear to me because I had the same exact condition, AVM. And I'm going to give it to you from a different point of view. Instead of a man's point of view, I want a young woman to tell us how it is to be a survivor of an AVM rupture. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring my friend. I guess you could call her my little sister because she has the same exact thing as me. We're one of the 1% of the world population that has this rare condition. So please, without any further ado, let me welcome to the stage. Her name is Mollie O'Leary. Once again, Mollie O'Leary. Mollie, how you doing today, sister?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I am well. So well, actually. I'm excited for this interview because once again, it's very rare to find another AVM survivor in the world, but
Yeah.
we have one here today, and you are her. So can you tell us what happened on that unfaithful day that you found out you had an AVM and just break down what it was and what you're doing today? The floor is yours.
So it was a normal night, a Friday of my senior year in high school, and I went out with my best friend. We just went to our acquaintance's house to watch a baseball game. And I went to the bathroom with my friend, and then 2 seconds later, I was having a seizure on the couch. And my friend said to me, she was like, "Oh, you can stop now. It's not funny." And then she realized that there was something seriously wrong with me. So she called my mom. My mom thought, obviously, I was 17. She thought I was drinking or taking some drugs. But then when she came to my acquaintance's house and she saw me, she quickly realized that something was wrong. So they called the paramedics, and actually it was the paramedics that instantly knew it was my brain. So they looked at my pupils, and my pupils were shot. So the guy immediately told them that it was my brain. So they got me to the hospital in under 2 minutes, which is amazing. So immediately they brought me into the hospital. They were trying to figure out what the heck happened to me. So when they figured it out, they embolized it to stop bleeding. And then they took the flap of my skull out and put it in my stomach for the next 6 weeks. And then they put me into a medically induced coma for 10 days. And they told my parents that they didn't know if I was going to make the night. And if I made the night, the next 3 days were very critical. So they kept trying to take me off the breathing tube, but I wasn't breathing on my own. So they thought they were going to have to do a tracheotomy, and my parents were so upset. But then one day, my dad was just with me by himself in the hospital when my mom wasn't there, and he told them to, try it, and I started breathing on my own. And then when I eventually woke up from the coma, they didn't know what way I was going to be. So I woke up, and my entire left side was paralyzed. So the next question was, what do we do now? So I ended up getting transported to Burke Rehabilitation Center for the next 2 months to do physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. And that was not fun. All my friends were visiting colleges and picking out their prom dresses, I was in the hospital trying to survive. And when I got out of the rehab, I continued to do physical therapy for 2 years after. So after I got out of rehab, I waited, I think, a month, 3 or 4 weeks, and then they put the flap in my skull back in, and that was not fun at all. That was the worst pain I've had in my entire life, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And I couldn't really move around on myself, but I was still determined to get back to the normal teenager that I was before. So I was determined to get back. So I told my mom, I said, I'm going back to school. She told me, no, you're not. I said, okay, well, I would like to start online school just so I'm not that far behind. So started online school. That was great. Then they were going to take out my AVM, so they brought me into the hospital and did an angiogram, but there was too many blood vessels from the bleed in the way, so they couldn't do it because the aneurysm also burst that I had. I forgot to mention that I had an aneurysm that bled also, so that was crazy. But they couldn't remove the AVM because of how many blood vessels were in the way, so the next step was Gamma Knife. So I got Gamma Knife, and I felt fine after. It's still working because it works up to 5 years, but I'm approaching the 5-year mark and my AVM is still here. So the next step is, what path do we take to get rid of this AVM? So I made the decision that I want to get it removed, and I have a new neurosurgeon from when I first got brought in, and he thinks that he could get it out successfully. And one thing that is really crazy to me is the tentative award date is October 9th, 2020. The day that I just told, 2025, not 2020. The day that I just told you about when I ruptured was October 9th, 2020. So I think that's so weird that 5 years to the date it's going to start and end, hopefully. So now, since I'm still recovering, I like to use my voice and spread awareness because a lot of people don't know that it's a thing until it happens to them. So I like to raise awareness and post about it. People probably get annoyed at me for talking about it so much, but it didn't happen to them, it happened to me. And it's very prominent in my life every single day. And even when I get my AVM taken out, it's still going to affect me every day. The mental aspect of it, the physical aspect of it, my life got changed. I couldn't go away to college. Matter of fact, it affected me so much that I had to drop out of college. So it still affects me very much, to say the least. And that is always going to be that way, unfortunately. But you know what? You learn to move on with it. You become accustomed to your new lifestyle. And I'm a survivor, and I'm here to share my story with the world, and I'm here to raise awareness because it's only rare until it happens to you. So.
Okay, cool. Well, nice to meet you, and thank you for giving us that great detailed background of yourself. I got a lot of questions for you, and hopefully you can answer them. And I'm very curious because you said you was a senior in high school, and now you're probably what, 23, 24?
22.
22. Man, my math is completely off. All right, so you're 22 years old. You was determined to go back to school. You had Gamma Knife, and you want to have completely remove it. So I guess they're gonna back up your skull and remove it out. Where is it located inside of your brain?
So it's in my occipital lobe, but they said they could get in because there was like a portion of my brain that's dead. So they said it's very easy. My surgeon said that he's done it multiple times, and he said that if he thought there was a 50-50 chance of me moving again or walking, he would not do it. So he's very confident, which makes me less nervous about it. Obviously, it's a big surgery, but I'm ready to get back to my life. I'm 22. I shouldn't have to live in fear. No.
Well, I had that actually done. I had the craniotomy and I had my AVM removed, but mine was in my cerebellum. But it happened 6 months after my rupture, and that was in 2017. What state are you located now?
I'm located in New York.
You're in New York? What part of New York?
Yeah.
Upstate, downstate, New York City? Because you're close to me, because I'm in New York. I'm close to New York City.
I'm Long Island.
Oh, yeah, you're kind of close. But that's pretty interesting. There's a lot of good neurosurgeons out there as well. So if you do need anybody out there, let me know. I could hook you up with some people. I think you met Gina Keeley from the Paige Keeley Foundation.
Yeah, I didn't meet her in person, but we've chatted before.
Oh, so she's the person that I would recommend because she's from. We have some comments and questions, so let me bring them up on the screen, and we get to that, and then we get back to our questions that we have here. So, First comment. What's the deal here? I'm not sure what the question is. We're talking about AVM awareness. So, Air Boss Rob, if that's what you're going to talk about, that's what it's the deal. He's on YouTube. Okay. I guess he has a question here. I have a small tumor in my brain next to my left ear. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Um, Unfortunately, we don't know too much about brain tumors because we have what's called AVM or arteriovenous malformation, but we do have the brain injury. If you follow us, and next week I will have this particular person on here. His name is Disability Gorillas. He had a tumor, and he was a physical therapist as well, so he knows both sides of it. So I believe that particular interview would be more up your speed, more your alley of understanding of tumors. Because unfortunately, myself and I'm not sure if Molly, do you know anything about brain tumors?
No.
So unfortunately, Air Boss Rob, this is not the actual show. Next week we'll actually have that information. So back to you, Molly. So as a young woman, I hear crackling sound. Is something crackling in your background?
Yeah, I hear that too. Okay, it stopped.
It disappeared. It disappeared.
Nope.
Okay. So the question I have for you, well, it's back. I don't know what that is. But the question I have for you, since you was a high school graduate or into high school and you're about to graduate soon, you wanted to be yourself. You wanted to go to prom. Everybody's going to prom. How was that for you? And how did you get over that mentally to get back to giving back to other survivors?
I pushed myself beyond my limit and I did end up going to my prom, which was a big accomplishment that I'm very proud of. And I walked across stage at graduation without my cane, which was a big moment for me. But when I was very down and depressed about everything because I still didn't really understand what was happening to me. I just couldn't move and I had all these things wrong with me. Didn't know. I knew I had an AVM, but I didn't really know like the severity of it back then. So I was kind of just like feeling sorry for myself, not really wanting to talk about it. And then as I was immature, but then as I matured along the way, I was like, okay, this is something I'm going to live with for the rest of my life. So why not reach out and find other people that are going through the same thing as me and raise awareness and let people know what I'm going through. So I started doing that and I eventually found a friend. Her name is Dominica. She might be watching. I'm not sure. She has an AVM. Well, she had one. She got it removed. We're the same age. And it turns out she only lives like 40 minutes away from me. So we ended up meeting up in January and we had the best time because we just can relate. Because we make jokes about it. When if it's okay if I make a joke about what happened to me. And that's just how I cope with it, is humor. But if somebody else makes a joke about it, that's not okay. And it was nice because she has the same humor as me. That's how she copes with it. She jokes. And it was so nice to have somebody that like understood my jokes and didn't get mad at me for saying any of them. And it was just nice. So, and I still raise awareness about it because I was kept here for a reason. And I think I'm so young. I have a voice and I'm going to use my voice. So that's why sorry, I'm rambling on. I have people reach out to me on TikTok because I use that to spread awareness. That's like my main platform to spread awareness. So I have like people messaging me on TikTok. They have other malformations, but like they're still messaging me and they're still relating to me. It's not the same malformation, but it's similar. So it's nice to have other people that kind of understand what I'm going through. And I know everybody's story is different. It's not the same, but it's very nice to have people that know what I'm going through because my friends, they try as hard as they can to understand, but they're never going to be able to understand or put themselves in my shoes because every day it's something new. If my head isn't hurting, I'm having nerve pain from when I was paralyzed, and if I'm not in pain, I'm going to the doctors, and if I'm not going to the doctors, I'm having another surgery. It's just every day it's something new with this disease. So I like to spread awareness.
No, I get that. I get that. I really get that. So as we going on and trying to become whoever we're going to be and trying to do our awareness like you said you're doing, you know, you're being a little bit coy to me. I want to know, for the other people that's out there that feel like life is over, but it's not. I know there might have been a time that you say, you know what, why me, why me, why me? Then you transform and say, you know what, why not me?
Yeah.
Can you speak on that particular moment so we could give other people out there some inspiration, some motivation to be the person that they need to be?
Yeah. So I still have those moments sometimes where I'm like, oh, why me? Why did this happen to me? I wasn't a bad person. But I kind of started finding little things that I like to do. And I well, I continued to hang out with people who reminded me of who I was before I had this rupture. And they remind me, they make sure to remind me every day that what happened to me does not define me. So, and I went to therapists, I got help mentally. I'm very fortunate that I had a therapist that I could go to. So I went from thinking, why me, to what next? What can I do next?
Listen to my sound.
Look, we got some comments on there. We got a lot of comments, but I'm still getting some kind of feedback. It might be your fan because your fan might be very sensitive to your microphone. So I'm gonna read these comments on there. If you can actually work on that while I put you on the backstage and see how that works out
Okay.
for us. So our comments that we have here is coming up um, from Air Boss Bob again, and he wants to know, or he wants to tell us. So I had a biopsy and it's not cancerous. Doctor recommended not touching it. I wasn't afraid. Don't be afraid. I'm very happy that that actually happened for you. And once again, next week we will be talking with someone that has more understanding of it because right now you're really outside of my wheelhouse because I don't understand anything about cancerous stuff. You got another thing? This girl is well spoken. Yes, she is well spoken. She seemed nervous about her life. Well, she's a very young lady. I could pretty imagine if this happened to me, I have a rare condition that nobody else even heard of. That could make you very nervous as well too. And what else do we have on here? What defines you is the choices you make. Absolutely. I think a lot of people don't understand that concept either. So I'm very glad that you brought that up. So let's see if Molly has anything to say about that. Molly, so Air Boss Rob is saying what defines you is the choices that you make.
Yeah.
Have you understood that as a young woman and putting all this weight on you that nobody else understands? And you said earlier that you had someone that helped you out with that because they had the same type of condition. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that question a little bit later. But I want you to define this part. How was it at first when nobody understood what you was talking about because nobody has this? Once again, this is only 1% of the world population has it. How was it for you trying to navigate this and people talking to you and they don't have a clue what you're going through?
Um, it depended on the person that I was talking with because some people were very understanding and asking me lots of questions and being respectful about it. But then also I've dealt with a few people who are very like obnoxious about it, which wasn't nice because I don't mind saying what happened to me, but like when I went back to school, I had everybody asking me all these questions, and I had some people being very respectful and asking me to tell them start to finish, which was nice. And then people who, because they were trying to understand and they did their research, but the people who didn't really understand, I felt like they were more ignorant towards me. Maybe they weren't trying to be, but just the way they worded things, and that made me so frustrated, and I felt very alone because I was trying to talk to them about something very traumatic that just happened to me, and they're not even trying to understand, or they just don't know what I'm talking about, which was very frustrating for me when nobody knew what I was talking about. And I just,
Listen to my sound.
Molly, you are on fire tonight, and so many people want to say things to you. So hey, I just let them roll sometimes. Sometimes we have nights like that. We have guests, and all of a sudden you can't get a word in edgewise because people want to say things and want to talk to you. So let's start let our audience talk to us and see what they're saying to us. So, producer, can you bring up the first comment? Lunaverse, and I'm assuming that this is our friend Luna. She's an AVM survivor too, so I'm very happy that she's on here to actually be part of this conversation as well. So thank you for sharing your story. This is from Lunaverse.
No problem. Thank you for listening to me.
This is from Colleen. It said, "Thank you so much for sharing with us."
Thank you for listening to me.
And yeah, this is definitely Luniverse because this is the word that we use all the time for finding your tribe, and that's what we always try to mention to other survivors: finding people that's going to be supporters of you, not people that's going to slow you down. Is there
Yeah,
anything else?
I agree. Oh,
And here we have one more. I know you're straight. You might wear glasses like me. You better put your glasses on, girl, because this is hard to see. I'll read it for you. Here was my. See how you do got glasses. I knew it. I knew it. See, here was my wheelhouse. My mom, three sisters, and aunt, all dead from breast cancer, all gone. I live with that. I became that last of the Mohicans in my family. Understandable, and I'm very unfortunate that all these things happen to you, and I understand your pain and struggles. Hopefully, that you are being able to be that person that can actually strive and thrive through this, and be able to motivation to other people in the world for brain cancer and also breast cancer as well. Molly, we got some more. Jeez. Okay. Molly, somebody always has it worse. Think about that. You're pretty, a lot of personality, and surviving. I really agree with that too. And I guess he's trying to give you some motivation. I guess he sees something that needs motivating. And I don't know. I see that, but I see that Molly is coming a long way as a young woman, as a survivor, and for her to come up on a show to tell her story is very remarkable and commendable. And I really think that she is coming a long way because a lot of people don't want to actually show or share their story. And Molly has done a very great job. So I thank you, Molly, for doing that.
thank you for
Anything
letting
else, Purdue?
me tell my story.
All right. So, Molly, with all this being said and understanding that this is a rare condition, you said there are some people that have been nice and some people that has not been nice. For the people out there that's listening and want to be able to give you support or give other AVM survivors support, what are the things that you recommend them to do as a person on the outside talking to a survivor so they don't discourage them or feel out of place when they talk to them?
The best thing to do is just listen. That's one big thing for me is just listening to me if I'm talking about it, which I don't really speak about it that much anymore as time goes on. Um, but definitely just listening and hearing them out. And if you have any advice for them, the advice is good. But one thing that I think every survivor can agree on is that don't make comments if you've never walked a day in our shoes. That's one thing. Like, don't be so, oh, do this, do that, do that. I mean, if it's helpful, yeah. But if you're just making comments just to make comments when you've never been through what we've been through, it's kind of just like very frustrating. So, the number one piece of advice that I could give you if you're trying to talk to a survivor is listen and ask questions, but also be respectful. That's the one piece of advice I could give.
Well, thank you for that bit of advice. Um, Unfortunately, everybody that's on Instagram, we got some more from Facebook and also YouTube. But people on Instagram is actually giving us messages too, but it's not showing up on the screen. So, Molly, just give me a second so I can read what's on Instagram and go back and allow you to respond to it. And I think we also have some more information that's coming from our audience in Facebook land and also YouTube land. So let me see what's said on Instagram. One second, please. This is from D Gal. She is one of our um, viewers as well. This is a very long time friend of the show. She's saying, "Thank you so much for being brave and sharing with us." This is from D Gal on Instagram.
Thank you so much for
Don't start,
listening.
don't start crying on us, girl. Don't start crying on us. Everybody's showing you love. There's a lot of us out here. There's a lot of AVM survivor people out here. Trust me. I think we're going back to our Facebook and our Facebook and YouTube. Right, producer? Is there anything out there? Come on, let's give it. Molly's waiting for it. Molly wants it. This is Colleen again. Someone always has it worse, but God willing has it better. But
Yeah.
God willing has it better. Did I say it right? I said it right. I get. I understand what you're saying, Colleen, and I hope Molly receives this as well too. And do anything you want to say towards that, Molly?
I agree. That's what I tell myself when I'm feeling sorry for myself. I'm like, somebody always has it worse. I'm very lucky to be alive because I've seen other survivors and they're in wheelchairs and they can't walk. Some of them can't even speak, and I'm here. I'm able to work. I'm able to hang out with my friends. I'm able to speak. I'm able to walk, and that's honestly being able to get out of bed. That's a privilege that a lot of people don't see as like a blessing, but for me, every morning when I can wake up and I can get out of my bed and I could go downstairs and I could take my dogs for a walk, that's a blessing in itself. And it only becomes like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, I can't remember the word, but you only take those things for granted when all of that is taken away from you.
Molly, I do have some more comments coming in, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But something just happened that triggered something within me because this happens to me a lot too. You froze up on your response. It's not because you don't know what the words to say. You probably know what the words to say, but it's not coming to formation right now, and that's a very frustrating thing. And I think a lot of people don't understand that about us when you have brain injuries. They think that, well, you look good, you're talking well 90% of the time. So why do you mess up on words? Like if I have an argument with you, you should be able to have a rebuttal. And sometimes we just don't because it's too much strain and effort. Is that the same issue that you go through, Mom?
Yeah, definitely.
So how do you deal with that?
Um, I take some vitamins. I take vitamin C. No, it's vitamin B, and I take lion's mane. And lion's mane helps my memory. I actually just ran out of it. That's why I'm forgetting my words. I have to get more of it. But usually lion's mane helps for me, and I take it 3 times a day. That's very good for any other of you survivors that are looking for something to help with cognitive stuff. I would recommend lion's mane.
Okay. Um, what about the frustration level? You know, because people get frustrated with you. People want to argue with you, thinking that you're playing games. You know, the famous line that I used to hear all the time. I don't know if you hear this or not. You're blaming it on your AVM. You're blaming it on your stroke. You know you can do this. You're playing games with us. I'm like, this is not a game. I'm not playing. Do you really
Yeah,
understand what's going on? Person that has a brain injury, this is not something that you just play with. Am I right with that?
yeah. That's probably one of the most frustrating things anybody could say to me. I'm that just like triggered something when you said that to
The biggest pet peeve.
me. Yeah.
Molly, I can't even ask you questions anymore because the audience wants to ask you all the questions. So we're gonna give it to them because they're here and we want to talk to them. So they want to talk to us. So let's bring them onto the screen. Producer, what's our first one? This is Michael. This is a new one that we have here. This is very brave, Molly. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for listening to me.
Okay, we have another one from Air Bob. Don't try to strain yourself. I'll read it to you. Molly, you are amazing. Just being here. Push yourself into your interests, hobbies. You can always seek your own happiness. You can thrive with your condition. Love yourself.
I agree. I try my best.
Here's Colleen again. There's also Molly. I've decided that someone having a problem with me is actually my problem or their problem. I'm not sure if that's what she meant. And I have a choice, or it is my problem. And I have a chance to work on that, as you definitely have. Okay. Here's Bob again. I know the pain you have, Molly. I have watched pure suffering and fear from family members. Be thankful for each and every day. Your own life is big. It is big thing. You are incredible. Colleen again. Amen, Molly. I think it's a blessing to walk my dog too and even do the dishes. I know a lot of people have it worse or much worse than I do, and I am thankful for everything I am able to do. Man, this is Molly, they love you today because I can't even talk. This is so many messages. This is beautiful. I love it. Even with all the blessings of survival, give yourself grace when it doesn't feel like a blessing. Your feelings are valid. You are allowed to mourn. You got. I can't read that all in one word. See, it's a tag that she put in there. Your strength is beautiful. I think I got that right, Universe. So don't beat me up because I'm probably gonna get some messages after the show today. I chopped up her words. Um, Michael, you hitting something here. Lion's Mane. I love Lion's Mane mushroom. Have you heard of that, Molly? Lion's Mane?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, the vitamin that I take.
Okay, yeah, cool. So did you did? So I wasn't paying attention, I guess. Uh, I wondered if it helps. Can you elaborate? So yes, Michael, she can elaborate. I can elaborate on it as well. We will get to that. Oh, we could talk about that right now before we go further into the comments. So lion manes, what do you think about lion mane, and why is it so important for people to actually take that?
So I think even if you don't have a brain injury, I think it's good to take anyways, because when I do take it, I used to work in a bar and I used to be forgetting which drink, who ordered what drink, and what drink I was supposed to make. And then as soon as I started taking it, I remembered everything. I was like, okay, here, here, here. And even like my attention span got better. I don't know if that works for everyone, but my attention span got better. And just overall, like my brain didn't feel like mashed potatoes, which it does sometimes. Um, like I don't want to say I felt like I had a normal brain, but like I definitely could feel it working, and like I started to feel healthy again up there, you know. But definitely with cognitive and like even my speaking, like I was speaking clearly, I wasn't stuttering, I could remember what I was going to say. But yeah, it just overall it really helps with cognitive, and it's really healthy for your brain even if you aren't a stroke survivor or don't have a brain injury. It's very good. I recommend everybody to take it.
Yeah, I do too. You guys could get it in powder form, or you can actually get the mushroom itself. Some people cook with it. You know, you could make it look like a steak, put some soy sauce on that bad boy, cook it, grill it, and then eat it as whole. I really recommend it as well because it's something that helped me with my cognitive skills and also memories. It also helps me focus a lot. So I highly recommend that. If you can put that into your diet, that'll be a very good thing. It is a fungus, though. Remember, it is a mushroom, lion's mane mushroom. You could get it at your organic stores or for Whole Foods and things of that nature. Molly, we got some people on Instagram that want to talk to you, so let me bring those Instagram people in, and then we're gonna go back to our YouTube and Facebook people. So one
Okay.
second, let me go to Instagram and find out what they're saying. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Um, Here we got Gerald Oregon. Molly, what is your favorite thing to do in this world? That's a pretty personal question, but hey, I guess he wants to know what's your favorite thing to do in this world?
Um, Probably hang out with my dogs. They bring me peace. I like hanging out with my family also, and my dogs. My dogs are my favorite thing in the world.
I think that's a very important thing that you just said. You like to hang out with your dogs because they give you peace.
Yeah.
I think that is the most valuable thing that we have now is peace. We don't have to really try to compete with everybody else with those what we quote unquote normal people want to
Yeah.
do to thrive in this world. We're just trying to find peace. Here's
Yeah.
another question that we got from Instagram. So let me bring it on. This is from wow. I don't know if your name is Kyra or Kira. My daughter's name is Kyra because we spelled it the same way. Kira or Kara writes, I am inspired by you hearing your story as another young survivor, seeing how you have handled it all well as well. Thank you for being here and talking. So that's from Kyra or Kira, right? I pronounce it Kyra. So let's go back to our Facebook and YouTube comments. Air Bob again. Air Bob is going to be our number one commenter today. I love it. The big thing is accepting what is. Once you let go of your doubt and fear, you can live life to the fullest. Colleen is saying here, I had a rough day yesterday, and this is helping me so much. I love your courage and strength. those are the type of information I love to hear. I don't know about you, Molly. When people get inspired by hearing your story, that just throws me to another level of being, I know I'm in my purpose. I know I'm in my place. How did that make you feel?
It definitely makes me feel like I'm not alone when I find out that my story is helping other people, and that makes me feel really good about myself. And it reminds me that I'm not alone, because I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me when you've had something so traumatic happen to you, and you just feel like you're in this invisible box. When I speak out about my story and people want to learn more, and when I inspire people, that makes me so happy, because I never thought there would be a day where I could inspire people. And I know what I've been through. I was just having a chat with my uncle downstairs. He was like, "You're so brave, and we're all like in awe of you." And it's just, I can't understand why. I mean, I know why, but it's just like weird that I do inspire people. Not weird, but the word that I'm looking for. Like, it makes my heart warm.
I get it. I get it. Do we have any more comments, producer? Here we go. Air Bob is here. I have struggled for years to accept events as they happen, Molly. You have a gillion years. I don't know what gillion is. I don't know if he meant zillion or billion or million, but gillion, I guess that's a number, I guess. Gillion years. And here's one from Luniverse again. My Z girls, my two dogs. Ultimate piece. So I guess she's feeling what you're talking about when it comes to your dogs, and I guess
Yeah,
that your fur babies are not actually dogs and stuff. That is part of your family, and that's what gives you serenity, give you your peace. I love
yeah.
that. And another one from Luniverse is you inspire those you'll never know. Very true,
No,
sister. Very true.
thank you.
So Molly, I have to pull this up because I known you for a very long time. I probably asked you to come on my show a couple of times in the past. He's like, I ain't ready yet, and all of a sudden, then you came to me and say, Greg, AVM Superhero, I am ready. Like you really came on and strong. It's like, you know what? I don't care if another season goes by. If you don't get me on, we're gonna have some problems. So I'm like, okay, we're good. Whenever you want to come on, I don't have no problem with that. I realize that people have to go through that journey to get to where they need to get to actually share their story. Because I saw it in you day one when I met you. So what got you out of that funk and say, you know what, it's time? And what do you tell other people because they want to give themselves to this community, but they don't know what to do? What would you tell to these people? How did you get to this point, and what do you actually give back if they want to give back?
Yeah. Um, I think when you first asked me, it was actually like a couple months after my rupture. Um, and I think we planned to have a pre-interview, and then I canceled. That probably happened like 2 or 3 times. But I just kind of let myself heal, and I gave myself time to kind of understand what I've been through and how traumatic it was. And honestly, no hate to my other neurosurgeons. They were amazing. But they didn't really like show me or like explain to me really what like explain to me, but not in ways that like I would understand. Um, but my new doctor, he sits me down, he shows me all my scans from the beginning, the day it happened to now, and he tells me everything. And honestly, just kind of understanding, doing my own research, and letting myself heal and becoming confident in my new lifestyle, my new normal, as it would be. So I even was hesitant to come on today. I was nervous, just because I've never really spoken publicly about it. But yeah, I think the number one thing was letting myself heal.
All right. Molly, you got a fan club. This is ridiculous. I can't even ask you questions. My audience want to ask you questions, and I love it. Um, Producer, what is our next comment or question that we have on here? Colleen's coming on against is my dog and my horse gives me ultimate peace. You are not alone. See, I knew you was a cowgirl, someone that wrestle with cattle or horses because you put that cowboy hat on in your emoji. I definitely knew that's what you was dealing with. So thank you, Colleen. And we got Air Boss Bob again, and he's bringing out this particular message here. And it says, imagine this. I was an AG pilot for 15 years, spraying cotton, wheat, and never had a single accident. Tons of close claws, but always a perfect 3-point landing. That was my focus. Made me strong. Could dig it. I could dig it.
Mhm.
Colleen again, it says, how old are you now, and how old were you when this happened to you, Mollie?
I was 17 years old. I was just starting my senior year of high school. It was actually like the third week of my senior year. Because it was COVID, so we were in every other day. So it was my third week of my senior year, and I'm 22 now. So my 5-year anniversary is coming up in October. It's October 9th, 2020, and I think that's the day that I'm getting my AVM removed, which is very exciting. I'm so excited. And can I tell them my plans after my surgery, or?
Hold on for that because we got some more. We got more of your fan club that want to talk to you. So let's talk to them, and then please remember that producer. Can you remind us that Mollie wants to tell us her plans after that? Okay, here's another one from Air Boss Rob. Mollie, put your main focus on your talent. So Air Boss Rob understands what you're trying to go to. He's trying to put that focus on you too. And the last one that we have is from Colleen again. You are very welcome. And yes, I am a tough old cowgirl. I knew it. I knew it, Colleen. I knew it. So yeah, Mollie, please tell us what your plans is afterwards, because I'm like to be inspired as well.
So after I was in school for a while, but it was very hard for me to concentrate. So I took a medical leave. I found my passion. I love doing makeup. I love doing my friends' makeup. I love doing my mom's makeup. So I am going to go to beauty license, psychology license, and business. And
I don't know what happened to Mollie, but she went off a little bit, but hopefully she'll get back. So it seemed like Mollie wants to
yeah, that's my
be.
plan.
Mollie, you back? Mollie. Well, we wait on Mollie to get back here. I'll put her in the backstage until she gets back. But guys, I really thank you guys so much for coming on today. This is a very interesting story. We have a young lady that was in high school, had an AVM rupture. And we keep on saying this acronyms all the time, but nobody really knows what we're talking about. And if you don't, it is called an arteriovenous malformation. And this is only 1% of the world's population has this particular condition. It is very rare and it's very serious. If you know anybody that has this, consider yourself to be lucky, because this condition is very rare, because hardly anybody that we know actually has this condition. So Mollie says she is back. So I'm waiting for her camera to get back on the screen. And once her camera gets back on the screen, we could put her on to have the hot seat questions. Once she gets back on, that's what we do. So I have a couple of more comments are coming on the screen. So once those comments come through and Mollie brings her camera back on, we could go through our hot seat questions. So let's go through these comments, and then we could go and have Mollie come back on. So Air Boss Bob is saying adios, gotta go. Thank you for coming on, Bob. Once again, next week is a guest that we will have that has a brain cancer. So hopefully he'll be able to answer your questions a little bit more thoroughly, and you'll have a better connection with him. Here's another one that we have here. And just don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. I was told that I would never ride my horse again, and the doctors were wrong. I'm going to ride a little bit tomorrow. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And last one from Airboss Rob, Mollie, you are loved. Mollie, I want to bring you back on the screen, but I don't see your camera that's coming on. So let's see if we could get your camera back on, Mollie, and we could close out this show so you can tell the audience goodbye, because it seems like they love you so much today. This is a very interesting show that we have, because Mollie is actually loved. So Mollie, are you there? I don't see Mollie on here, but This is a very good show, and I thank you guys so much for coming on. Unfortunately, I can't get Mollie's video to come back on the screen, so hopefully, what we can do here, we give Mollie a couple more seconds, and obviously, if she can't, we're gonna just close out the show. But I would love to have Mollie to come onto the show to tell us what she wants to tell us, and to thank each and every one of you guys for watching her and making sure that she is loved and blessed, because it takes a community, it takes a tribe of people to actually help us out. And I think she's back on, so let Mollie back in. Mollie, are you there? Mollie, I just see an M. Mollie, where are you, Mollie? Come back onto the screen. Mollie, I don't see your camera. You turned your camera off, so I'm going to take you back off because I don't see your camera. So hopefully she could get back on, and then we could do our hot seat questions. Everybody, thank you for coming and joining us, and hopefully we got what you need, and this is something that you guys have really enjoyed. And once again, if you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. That's AVM Superhero. We do this each and every week from May to October. We start off in May for Stroke Awareness Month, and we end off in October for AVM Awareness Month. I do this every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And unfortunately, I think we lost Mollie for tonight. So I will thank you guys so much for joining us and coming on to the show. And if you want to reach Mollie, I will give you her Instagram information that you can reach her and follow her and ask her questions, anything about AVMs. It's going to be on the screen right now. Instagram is at Mollie O'Leary. So on Instagram, you can follow her, and hopefully, well, I think I got her, guys. She came back. She didn't want to leave us. Mollie came. I told you
My phone.
she loved you guys. Hey, it happens sometimes. So let's do our hot seat questions, and I'll allow you to close out the show. Is that cool with you?
Okay.
All right. So let's do our hot seat questions. And with our hot seat questions, everybody, we ask our guests 4 questions, and we allow them to give us their response to these questions. And then after the hot seat questions, we have them close out the show. So once the show is closed out, everything is up to our guests. And it's like we lost Mollie again. So I'm not sure what's going on Mollie's end, but fortunately or unfortunately, we are out of time. So hopefully, guys, like I said, you could check out Mollie on her page. And if you have any questions for her, please contact her and let her know. And I'm not sure if she has a Facebook page, but she has an Instagram page. And if you do have any questions for Mollie, just leave direct message me and I'll get it to her so she can connect with you. But right now, only thing I do know that she has an Instagram page, and it's her Instagram page. I think Mollie's back on the screen. No, she's not. She's still blacked out. So, guys, have a great night. I really appreciate each and every one of you coming out here and also giving this young lady some support and some love. She really appreciates you guys, and I really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. And once again, have a great and blessed day. And as you all know, AVM Superhero out.